on V in the top, so they say thank you very much. Okay, you're going to have one there. Let's see if we can get a bit of a flank maneuver going on. Uzi's going to try and use that true shot barrage to clear the wave. Not going to quite work out. No picks coming from Fnatic there. You can see Gansu just dancing and weaving off the side there. Meanwhile, Forbidden returns back to the bottom lane. At the moment, they're just juggling back and forward between the lanes, and Chaogu just having to react to every time.
Yeah, 4-1 split push, 1-3-1 split push maybe. Gamsu's teleport available. That's what Fnatic want to do. Isolate the Zed, because after all, he is an assassin, and they work best in 1v1 environments, especially if he enters team fights. He has to go through an exhaust, maybe some crowd control effects. Obviously can't be used to his maximum utility. At this point, he can team fight because he's super fed, but Zed's main forte is still obviously that 1-for-1 split push.
Any concerns about Fnatic's ability to close this one out?
I mean, I would say no, but then I haven't always been right this tournament. I think they have the knowledge to close out this game. They will need to keep split pushing. It is hard though in this meta to open up tier 2s if the enemy teams know what they're doing, so I think Fnatic will need a good Baron play, and that is something actually they have struggled with in the European LCS. They've kind of skipped some steps. If you want to secure the Baron, it's push in, deep vision, push in again, then move to the Baron. Fnatic always managed to mess up at least one of these steps.
Well, Muramana has converted for Uzi, so he's going to be much more of a threat now, along with those Iceborne Gauntlet. The Ezreal should try and set up something for Doinb, so that's what Chaogun are going to be perhaps looking towards. You can see immediately how much more aggressive they're. They've all shoved down the lanes. They're all trying to clear the path a little bit, try and get themselves the tiniest bit of vision. Of course, you can see Baron is up, but of course the Dragon in 30 seconds is what they're going to maybe try and peek towards.
Yeah, Chaogu's kind of way back into the game is to fight Fnatic on an objective. When Fnatic does, like, the objective at the start, peel off the fight, Chaogu kite with that blue Ezreal, and then somehow V enters the fight either late or untouched, and then he has the continuous damage to really do damage at the end of the fight, because he's the only really good damage output outside of the Ezreal, who's kind of wants to kite. But it's very conditional. There's a lot of things have to go right now, which means Alistar from Moore and Rek'Sai from Swift have to really soak up a lot of damage, and then Fnatic need to play into QG's hands. But QG have won a lot of team fights from considerably larger goal deficits.
Absolutely.
So technically possible.
Wouldn't really be anything new for them now. I mean, maybe we'll forget that, I guess, we've seen these games so far, but that Dragon is live, and Clive beckons for Reckless to come and join him. His Spirit's already got that one started off here, and to be their second. They're the only team with Dragon so far in this one, and I mean, the anticipation for when it starts to get those Baron dances is definitely palpable.
Yeah, it has to be the Baron dance. 2 Dragons down in 23 minutes doesn't mean there is a 5 Dragon threat, really. Before we enter the super late game where Fiora and Ezreal is enough as a 2 damage component, LeBlanc kind of falls off. Don't want to be struggling to find damage, though. That Hourglass build.
Moore's going to have to use his ultimate here, and that's not even going to save him, I don't feel. Spirit going to take a lot of damage, though. He gets out just about alive! How the hell did he survive that one? Uzi, that's going to be a Forbidden getting the pop on him. Moore goes down, and this is exactly what Fnatic were looking for. Chaogun, they just wanted a little peek through the bushes, but Fnatic slapped them in the face.
Yeah, Uzi couldn't escape that death charge. At the same frame he hits, he gets a ninja on his tail too. Fevin, so much damage. And Ignite's still available and this is, yeah, this is big. It looked okay. It looked like a trade jungler for support, but Spirit not going down there is the deciding factor in this fight.
They're going to need him for this one as well, as Swift also lurking close by. Still potential for a Baron steal as Doinb just throws in the old leash and tries to get a feel for things here. But Fnatic are adamant. They're going to stick on this one. Obviously, Uzi still going to be coming back in here. It's going to get a little bit close here. Doinb's going to get jumped on though as well. He's super low already. The passive pop. Swift is going to be locked up there in position. It's curtain call now. Doinb just gets out of trouble. He stayed alive for so long, but that Baron still doing damage to Fnatic.
Oh,
this is
Swift has to steal.
stuff.
It's so low. He's going in for the steal.
Fnatic are all just so low. They tried to tank it for so long. They kick Swift out of the pit. They do finally lock it down. Fnatic get in there. There we go. Reckless lands the damage. More going to get taken down eventually. There it is. Reckless finishes him off. Gets himself the triple, but oh my word. Was that close for Fnatic?
Yeah, QG completely surprised by the fact that fight went so long that Spirit's kick was back available. This is how it all began. Moore has to ultimate at the time. Look at Spirit, how low he goes. How low can he go? Well, that low is how low he can go. Uzi, pop, 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 boom, goes the depth shard. He goes down, Fevivan takes him down, and then the fight is lost, and now they have to go to the Baron, but then, yeah, at least he doesn't have kick. Let's wait, Rek'Sai can steal. But Fnatic stalled out so long that eventually, and it's a long time though, Spirit's kick comes back available.
Well, well. High fives for all human. But this is now where that second fight sort of started as well. Doinby stayed alive for quite a while up.
Yeah, everybody's fighting each other and the Baron at the same time. Look at it. Doinby takes the hook. The only one that has to survive is Swift because he can smite steal. And he's doing a really good job. Fnatic keep the Baron from going low enough though. They say, okay, wait, hold. Don't let him 50-50 it. Don't let him steal it. So they back off. Swift Spirit is still waiting for his kick, and here it comes. Once he kicks him out, that's when Fnatic turn to the Baron. Swift is a little bit late on the flash. He doesn't expect it to burn. Fnatic, really good communication here. This is like frame perfect. This is so hard to pull off. Because if Swift flashes in like a fraction of a second later or earlier, and he steals the Baron, Fnatic kills for life.
That was the lined up double kill as well from Rekkles with the skill shot there. Very nice from him. Worked out well for them. 15-5 the kills. Massive advantage for Fnatic here in game number 3. Who would have thunk it? After watching them play this morning, they've definitely developed for
I thought I was ready for an early bureau clock here. Fnatic get 0-2, I get to go home to the hotel, turn it all around. Worth it though for me, some really good games.
High risk Baron from Fnatic, but we knew it would be a climactic fight around there. Now they're going to press forward here, and this is QG's chance. Hey guys. Sometimes their solution, the only solution they have in their heads is to fight. Fnatic have to be careful and maybe just try and shove these waves in. As QG catch them unaware, this might be it for Viven chained up. The lantern there.
Yeah, only one chain. Definitely did not excite Feviven there. Almost no damage.
Doinby just trying to find anything, do anything, just cause any sort of disruption, but Fnatic happy just as back away. No Baron buff, of course, for Viven. Did get taken down in that initial exchange, but now he can go. He's the man that needs to be split pushing. We saw Gamsu up there a moment ago. Finally, it is going to be for Viven that's going to start doing the little split push dance. Doesn't have the Baron buff though, so he's not going to have that added bonus like we got down the bottom.
Yeah, but he's just at the threat of the dive. That's enough. Just needs to divide and conquer kind of for Fnatic. Split QG up. If you have a team that's really good at coming back by team fighting, well, perhaps best not to let them team fight. That's Fnatic's approach here. Obviously, Zed isolated.
Giving up on the split push. Just decided to back away and try and draw some attention away, it looks like.
I think it's okay to back off because it wasn't working. They weren't busting the defense. And you would only just feed farming over and over. Why not take away more gold on the map? Get your camps after you clear their camps. Shop, get more items. QG, once they path into the map again, they can get picked off. You can't pick people in their base. So hard to accomplish that. And they at least it throws. So Fnatic proceeding with understandable caution.
So that gold lead is now blown out to 10k, and of course Fnatic stacking those turrets up one after another, and you have to think that they're going to be sort of grouping up again for another one. Now, Crepo, are we expecting to see that sort of 4-1 split push here? I mean, it's only really Gamsu. Do they work for Biven in on one side? Do they try and use Spirit?
Yeah, they go 4-1, 1-3-1. They keep altering it until QG cracks somewhere. And if not, they will likely go for another Baron. So we could see Dragon obviously being contested here. QG is going to let that drop, third Dragon. Fnatic will then keep poking away. You know, if QG get caught, great. End the game.
Oh, Spirit actually going to go try and dive deep on Uzi there, but will get caught more, slamming his fists into the ground and protecting his support. Yeah, but then of course that does mean Dragon up in 12 seconds. That's going to be the objective. That's where they back away. Just trying to get a bit of a moment of opportunity on Uzi there.
QG just starving for farm. They can't even... The Raptors is too deep territory. That's enemy territory. Your own Wolves is at this point is enemy territory. So all you can do is wait for waves to hit your towers. So Fnatic actually pushing in the waves is helping. So they're just gonna get the Dragon here, get complete vision control, and avoid being picked off.
So what does that mean then, Crepo, about QG's option? Is it just their favorite plan B to fight? Is that really the only way?
It's wait for a mistake. That's all they can do right now. But then they have to really use one of their strengths, which is decisively pulling the trigger with very little information, because they won't have much vision. Because all their vision is going to these blue trinkets, which they will put in a rotation once the Baron spawns, and hopefully avoid dying.
And that's the key. Everybody saw the TSM game yesterday morning. Everybody paid attention to that. Chaogu are known for fighting from behind. They guarantee if this game goes longer and longer and longer, the more items they get, they're going to be looking for that fight. And obviously the gold advantage that is currently there, what the Respawn, 11,000. Gigantic number right now, but Fnatic still yet to try and break through. Here's Swift getting caught out, though. That could be a starter. Spirit joins the party. The Korean double wombo combo on them, and Reckless comes around the side. Not going to allow him to get away. Doinb getting caught out. He's going to be the next focus. The Zhonya's only going to save him for so long, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team are now the target, and that's going to be a deep, deep dive from Spirit as they pile in. But Bivin goes deep. Here's the ulti from Reckless. Oh, it's blocked out by Doinb's Mimic.
Yep, and then Uzi takes a couple shots. Doesn't matter. That tower, though, to take a little bit of advantage of that play. Everyone is in base right now, so Fnatic to go back to get one pick. Yeah, sloppy fight overall. Spirit, again, with a good opening, though. This guy, complete different player all of a sudden.
On
Like
Lee
we have, yeah, multiple shades here.
Is this something that's been banned against him heavily in EU LCS?
I don't think so.
Let's just quantify it. He's a Korean jungler, so therefore Lee Sin is obviously
Yeah, but we've seen
in his package.
It's more than Italy that is consistent.
Yeah, Italy has been heavily consistently banned, but Spirit overall just hasn't been on some of these picks just generating the flanks, and the way he's doing this game, it's actually just such a different performance here. He's found so many openings in this game.
It's because also in a big way, Fnatic are ready to follow up on what Spirit's doing. Yesterday in the interview, Reckless said, traveling with my team really gives us a good sense of synergy. It's just the everyday, you know, how you going, sharing a room, just chatting about everything.
It's crazy when you think of every other esport out there, but obviously that is just the structure of LCS. I mean, while they all sit and live in the same house, you know, it's crazy that just a simple little thing like traveling, which obviously they're getting.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this is not due to the merit of traveling.
I know. Well, it's
All right, guys, let's go to Barcelona. Suddenly, my jungler can not.
It's the merit of having problems and having to get through it as a team, and that's what
Fnatic had, though. Plenty of problems.
Point is, communication seems to be better. They're following up on Spirit, who likes to go in quite deep. You can see he used a kick there, didn't quite yield the opportunity for Fnatic, but they're going to press forward anyway.
Yeah. So if we want to improve our... Hang on. Never mind.
Hang on. Here goes Chao Gu, but the question is, Uzi's going to get caught out. Manages to QSS him, but Bivin dives on towards him. Doinb's going to get picked up the side. Zhonya's Hourglass comes out, but how long will that keep him alive? Not very long. Bivin gets himself the double. Make it a triple. Vega's going to be the next focus. Little shot comes in. There's the quadra. And they're just going to dial it back. And Fnatic in full control here as they get themselves the ace and most likely the game.
They're going to think about just, oh, we forgot to get that inhibitor. Now they've got to press forward. Fnatic, massive fight for Biffin. There were concerns about him towards the late game, but he just never stopped getting massive. And Fnatic now push on towards it. They've done it. They've evolved themselves throughout the whole day, just like we talked about TSM. And they've made it into tomorrow. Chao Gu have been upset. Fnatic, we'll see you tomorrow.
Semi-finals for Fnatic. Up against Royal Never Give Up. They've defeated one Chinese team. Can they do it again? It's a big ask, no doubt about it, but they're going to be making it into the Spodek tomorrow. And potentially reaching that really big best-of-5 final. Of course, SKT versus TSM is the other mouth-watering match.
There was maybe like 1,000 people here in the crowd, I think.
2,000 people here into the Spodek. You're up to 11,000.
Yeah, and there was a lot.
Ramp up that
there was a lot of
volume.
Fnatic shirts here already. Tomorrow, there's going to be absolutely massive home field advantage here for Fnatic, and they seem to really thrive off the energy and positive energy, momentum, and flow, etc. So that's going to be very interesting to see that at the Spodek tomorrow.
What a relief for them. After game one of the previous series, Clyde, he ran away from the desk. He put his head against the wall. He was so frustrated and upset with himself. But in the last couple of games, something's clicked. For Fnatic, things are now running as they want them to. And that's going to make tomorrow that much more exciting, Lee.
What a fantastic match it has been. Let's get over to the analyst desk to take us through with final thoughts.
How on earth do you follow a best of 3 like that? It is difficult to really pinpoint a few things, but for Fnatic, the Costa said it best. The pieces came together. Spirit found a champion that he really could impact the game with. Reckless was a real threat on Jhin. Cly was finding hooks that were correct and at the right time. It just feels like everybody just stepped it up a notch and found another gear.
So many good comfort picks for Fnatic in this last pick and ban phase again, and that makes it easier. You already have the confidence from winning that last game. When Spirit played Lee Sin last week in the ULCS, he also went completely nuts. Deserved MVP for sure from that game. This pick is the pick he needs to play, or at least something like it, because he's so good at setting up these skirmishes.
Yeah, it's always been like that ever since, you know, starting out on Samsung Blue, taking over the jungle role there, and really at the inception of his career. And now we see again him really making these plays on the Lee Sin. And this is what we wanted from him. Like, this is what I wanted. I look at some of these other drafts that Fnatic has been playing about, and I hate to harp on it, but that draft against H2K where they take mid-game playing out of Ezreal, they really made that shift. They go into some lane dominance. They pick very heavily for that Jhin, looking for the lane dominance over the course of today, and then they start to play more aggressive champions on Febiven. It opens up Spirit to make the plays, and that's why you hired Spirit in the first place.
We have a replay to demonstrate exactly this point. Let's pull it up. I don't want to do too many replays, but this is really quite an exciting one where Febiven demonstrates, roll the clip out. He manages to shut down Uzi on the Z, of course, and then the quite dramatic Baron play. Deficio, what do you make of this? Again, it's Fnatic, it's aggressive, and it's them pushing into QG territory.
Yeah, again, you have a 1-3-1 and you've gotten ahead, and Uzi has no QSS yet, so this is a super good play from Febiven. I actually think Uzi went last Whisper's third item instead of just rushing QSS. In my opinion, completely useless. Your job is not right now to take care of the Nautilus, it's to survive that Z engage and then be able to kite backwards. Baron starts. Obviously becomes a bit messy for Fnatic because there's a lot of split calls here. Half the team is probably calling to finish the Baron and try and kick away the Rex side. The other half is saying, oh, I'm hooking, you know, LeBlanc, let's go for it. Get baited by the Hourglass a little bit, and now it's very in and out, tanking the Baron. Still fairly early on in the game. Spirit in the end, though, shows he has the control.
Yeah, just really actually quite awkward. Reckless, too, with the curtain call over the wall. It's just, you need to concentrate that DPS at that point in time or make some sort of commitment. Eventually, though, Spirit does commit and make the play on the re-engage at the Baron, and that makes all the difference.
I want to go back to yesterday and the intro to the entire show. The two Western teams where we talked about wrong pick and ban phases and not utilizing strong mechanical junglers was Team Solo Mid and Fnatic. Svensson and Spirit were the two junglers. We said for both teams, we want to see early game, we want to see Lee Sin picks, we want to see mid laners who can push early, who can set up picks with this jungler, because then you can utilize them. Both teams have adapted. Both teams are now in the semifinal, while CNG and Origin are out from the West.
Yeah, definitely are knocked out. And, you know, if Spirit was running the Place.tv extension, he could have recorded and shared all of his clips on social media. Spirit is also waiting on stage where Shox is about to interview him.
Thank you, Trevor. Who else could I talk to first but Spirit? Congratulations, making it to the semifinal. What a day for you guys, starting off with that tough loss and then turning it all around throughout the day, coming together as a team. Just tell me first, from your perspective, how you've lived this crazy day with Team Fnatic.
You know, do you know why we lose first game?
No?
Because we wanna play more and we wanna practice more, and I wanna play in stage many games, you know.
Spirit, when you get your hands on Lee Sin and you play like that in Fnatic, I think we all want to watch that every day. Is that aggressive style what you think you should play like as much as possible?
First, when I play Lee Sin, my play style is super aggressive, because when I play Lee Sin, I have so much confidence, and in my head, always think I will beat them, I will smash them, I will kick them, yeah. So, yeah, so it's good for my team, I think, yeah.
I think these last games have proven that it's good. Can you signal maybe where throughout the day that you felt something within the team click and it all came together and you all seem to be on the same page, fighting on the same page, fighting very well together? Do you think that is because you've played so many games here today and you're making this trip together, playing in front of this crowd together?
네, 정확히.
I might have made that a bit complicated.
Because we just focus more, and we just trust each other. So we just think we never lose this game. We have to revenge it QG, revenge versus QG. Yeah, so we just try hard for my life. Yeah.
You probably have used a lot of energy today, a long day. Pun not intended, tomorrow you're up against RNG. You have to do it all again tomorrow to make to the final. You will be playing on the big stage, the big crowd as well. Just tell me how you're going to bed tonight, what you're thinking about, and how you're going to get ready for that.
First, I have to keep my mind positive. We can beat RNG. Yeah, I think I can beat RNG. We can beat RNG. Yeah, so, but I worry Mata, Lupo, RNG is Korean, really strong. Yeah, so if I play Lee Sin or any champion, and if I kill enemy, Lupo and Mata, I kick Lupo's mentor. Yeah, so if I kick Lupo's mentor, maybe we can win. Yeah.
You say you can beat them?
Yeah.
Last question. Are you ready thinking about possibly SKT if everything falls right?
It's too hard.
Yeah.
No, but I try.
Yeah, I don't mean to put you in that position.
So before this interview, I had asked him, do you want to do this in English? And he said, no, I think I'll just do it in Korean. It might be more comfortable for me. So I came here and I said, if you have, a question, you want to do it in English, I can help you out. Like training wheels, right? This guy has been fantastic in English. I think you should give him
a round of applause. Amazing. Cool. We can do interviews now every week back in the European LCS, if you guys win. Thank you. Thank you very much, Spirit. Fantastic interview, fantastic day from Fnatic. Guys, talk about it some more.
Exceptional.
Love to.
Absolutely exceptional.
Love to.
If Fnatic do not make a t-shirt that says, you know why we lose game one? Because I want to play on this stage more. Hashtag Spirit says. I think that's brilliant. And let's just round out the series.
Sure.
Fnatic really stepped up. They lost game one to QG. QG made a number of mistakes. They played with Uzi. They didn't play with Pekka, who's not their starting.
Mistake number one.
They're out of the tournament. And talk to me about some of the adaptations, some of the good from Fnatic as well as some of the bad from QG.
I felt like the adaptation from game 2, game 3, pick and ban wise, wasn't there for QG. We talked about this Jhin pick. They clearly didn't really feel comfortable playing against, also blocked that Kalista pick. And when you don't ban the Jhin, Nautilus first pick comes in again, and there's never really a question if they're gonna first pick Nautilus or Kalista. And that means Gamsu, again, gets one of his absolute main picks up in the top lane. And then we talked about that Rek'Sai pick. If you want to play a better matchup into Lee Sin, why not just take the Lee Sin?
That was my idea.
It felt like kind of disrespectful that some of these comfort picks that Fnatic had really shown up on Jhin and the Lee Sin were not picked away or banned away by QG. And I also feel like Doingby got kind of exposed in this series here. His champion pool, having to blind pick that LeBlanc to take it away from Feverin, getting counter picked by Zed. And then that Victor last pick in the game before into Quinn. He did not have a great series, and this is one of the better mid laners in China.
He's played, again, those two picks, the overwhelming majority, I think all but 4 of the games so far they've played. So I think 13 out of 17 in the LPL season have been on Victor or LeBlanc. And these have, he just didn't have much in the pool. At least he brought out the Lissandra here and actually did pretty well on that. And hadn't played that at all in the spring season.
And what happened when Fnatic saw a pick he did well on? They banned it. They respected the fact that he actually performed super well on Lissandra. They took it away instead of just trying to run into the same wall again and again. It's going to hurt just as much the second time.
Well, some props to Fnatic. Let's take a look at the Group B bracket now that it is concluded and wrapped up. Absolutely no surprises. SK Telecom, they crushed their 2 best of ones. They will be in the semi-final tomorrow against Team Solo Mid. And then a big surprise with Fnatic running the gauntlet in Fnatic style, taking series all the way. Monty, now that you see the bracket in its completion, what have we learned from today? We can have some takeaways from some of the other teams you haven't spoken about.
I think SK Telecom, the big surprise was Blank, especially on that Gragas game, was really quite good coming from the jungle position. And from a guy who really hadn't done anything noteworthy in Korea. Of course, we're glossing over the LPL that he had actually last year. But in Korea, in his games with SK Telecom, he was really a non-factor. And then to come back and make such strong performances today was quite inspiring, I think.
Another jungler Spirit, we heard from him before, fantastic performance, obviously stepping up. Also Cly, a guy we had some pretty rough words for coming into this. Made a big mistake in the last game. And then he actually steps up and performs really well from there on and out. A young guy and doing well.
Yes.
What are you laughing at?
Incredibly good performance. Carmack has literally just climbed under the table because he's exceptionally happy with how the League of Legends tournament has played out today in the Expo Arena. Let's set up the matches that will be happening tomorrow in the Spodek here in Katowice, Poland. Bring up the bracket. We can see the playoffs and how they're going to play themselves out. He's tying my shoelaces together, people. What am I meant to do with this? TSM versus SK Telecom T1 in the top of the bracket. RNG against Fnatic. Deficio, which matchup are you most excited for when you look at this?
RNG versus Fnatic. I want to see if Fnatic can take down a second Chinese team, and I also want to see if Fnatic can continue the performance. We should expect some different picks. Generally, Sin will most likely be a target coming in from RNG, but the way they were team fighting and picking up skirmishes against what is considered one of the best team fighting teams from China, that was just super well played by Fnatic in game 2 and 3.
I also don't think that Royal's going to have the same sort of overly aggressive, especially in that last game when QG ended up between the two turrets in the bottom lane. Really, really sloppy. I think from Royal we can expect, better early game shot calling, less mistakes in the lane swap or fewer mistakes in the lane swap. And Mata is there, right? They're going to have another strong lane to deal with. And MLXG, we saw some nice stuff from him this tournament. And I think we'll continue to see it.
As long as
Best jungler in the tournament?
I think he's the best jungler in the tournament, especially now that Swift didn't really show up at all. Disappointed by that Rek'Sai in the end. MLXG will be a whole different beast to deal with for Fnatic. And if he gets his hands on Lee Sins or bans it away, I think there's a big advantage for RNG.
All right, we're going to have to find out how the semifinals play out tomorrow. Gentlemen, thank you very much for keeping me company here on the Expo Desk. Tomorrow, we will be back live from the Spodek Arena. 11,000 people. Check out the VODs over at youtube.com/IEM. Catch up. We've had some hell of exciting games, and I cannot wait to do those BO3s and BO5 tomorrow. Guys, we'll see you then.